Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's Pick a Pile reading is all about a door that you're about to walk through and what that means for you. There are 3 piles for you to choose from. From left to right we have piles 1, 2, and then 3. Once you have picked your pile, head to the timestamp for it in the description below. If you feel drawn to more than one pile, there may be messages for you in those piles as well. Hello Pile 1, welcome to your reading. Let's jump right into it. This card is a strong start. It tells us the door you're about to walk through is one that balances both your physical world and your inner growth. You're not just headed toward more money or status, though that is part of it. You're moving into a space where what you value and how you live are starting to align more clearly. You've likely been through a phase where you had to compromise, maybe settling for a job that paid the bills but left you feeling drained, or even trying to grow spiritually while feeling stuck in the day-to-day grind. That imbalance is about to shift. The next chapter is about fulfillment that actually touches both sides of your life. This card shows that success is coming, but it's tied to integrity. You're no longer willing to chase opportunities that don't reflect your principles or your worth. And because of that shift, the energy around you is changing. Better opportunities are being attracted to you because you are showing up differently. This also signals increased stability. You might see this as a promotion, a new financial opportunity, or even just better boundaries that allow you to enjoy what you already have. The spiritual side of this card reminds you that peace of mind is just as valuable as a paycheck. Whatever the new door is, it's one that lets you live with more intention and a lot more confidence. This card confirms that things may have felt stalled or delayed up until now. The Eight of Wands reversed shows slow movement, miscommunication, or just general frustration that things aren't lining up fast enough. You may have been doing everything right, but still feeling like nothing is shifting. That pause, while annoying, was actually protecting you. There's a good chance something you thought you wanted wasn't fully aligned, and the delay gave you time to see that. Now, with this new energy coming in, you're not just looking for momentum, you're looking for the right movement with purpose. This card also speaks to the importance of clarity. Maybe you were putting energy into too many directions at once, or trying to make something work that kept hitting resistance. The reversed 8 says that you're learning to slow down, focus, and move intentionally instead of reactively. That's part of what opens the door you're about to walk through. You've gotten more honest with yourself, more strategic, and more grounded. And as frustrating as the delay has been, it gave you the insight you needed to walk through the right door, not just the first one available. Now, things can start to move again, but on your terms. This card is all about authority, structure, and stepping into a leadership mindset. The door opening for you isn't casual, it's powerful. The Emperor tells us that you're moving into a chapter where you're going to be in control, whether that's taking on a leadership role, starting something on your own, or simply commanding more respect in your current space. This could also point to someone else offering you support, possibly a mentor, a boss, or a figure who helps open this new door. Either way, the key energy here is structure and ownership. You're no longer being pulled by outside expectations, you're setting the standard. This also means that there's no more hiding. The Emperor doesn't play small, so if you've been underestimating yourself or waiting for permission, this card says that season is over. The opportunity that lies ahead requires you to step into authority, not arrogance, but confidence rooted in earned experience. You've proven yourself quietly. Now, the next chapter wants you to claim your space loudly. The more you embrace responsibility and show up with intention, the more doors will open, this one and the ones that follow. You're not just walking through a door, you're stepping into a role. This card brings in a cautionary message. The Fool reversed shows hesitation around new beginnings. You might be resisting the next step out of fear, uncertainty, or a lack of trust in yourself, and that hesitation is understandable, especially if you've taken risks before that didn't pay off. Still, this card warns you not to let the fear talk you out of what you know is right. The door is there, the opportunity is real, but if you're constantly second-guessing yourself or waiting for a perfect sign, you'll miss it. The reversed Fool says that you're standing at the edge of something promising, but you're hesitating to leap. It's also possible that you've been conditioned to doubt your instincts. Maybe you've been told to be practical, or you've internalized the idea that risk equals recklessness. But that's not what this is. This isn't a blind leap. It's a step towards something that's already aligned with what you've been asking for. The key is to recognize that the fear you feel is normal, but not predictive. Just because it feels unfamiliar doesn't mean it's wrong. Growth never feels 100% comfortable at first. This door will open for you, but you have to walk through it on faith, not just logic. This card shows that your confidence around new skills, opportunities, or ventures may have taken a hit. The Page of Pentacles reversed can mean doubting your ability to succeed in something new, or feeling like you're not ready to take on a challenge. Maybe you're looking at this door and thinking, who am I to do this? That self-doubt is blocking your momentum. You don't have to be the master of something before you start. You just have to be willing to learn. This card says the opportunity ahead may be something you're not used to, but that doesn't mean you're unqualified. There's also a message here about investment. You need to put in time, energy, or even money into something new before it pays off. The door that's opening isn't about instant gratification, it's all about growth. Don't be afraid to start small or to feel like a beginner again. This card reminds you that humility and consistency are more powerful than perfection. If you approach this next phase with a willingness to grow, you'll be surprised how quickly things shift in your favor. Let go of the need to have it all figured out. Just start. This final card brings healing energy. The Five of Cups reversed shows that you're finally moving out of disappointment and regret. You may have had recent setbacks. This could be missed chances, failed ideas, or even simply situations that left you feeling discouraged. But you're not stuck there anymore. This card says that you're starting to turn around and see what's still possible. The past doesn't define you, and it doesn't have to dictate your next move. Whatever didn't work before, whatever left feeling like you missed your shot, that is not the full story. There's something redemptive about this next door. It offers not just success, but emotional closure. A chance to prove yourself that you can bounce back stronger, smarter, and more self-aware. This card is about hope returning, not in a naive way, but in a grounded, earned way. You've seen what disappointment feels like. Now you're ready to see what resilience looks like in motion. And this new opportunity, it's not just about gain, it's about redemption. So pile 1, the door you're about to walk through isn't just about external change. It's about a turning point in your own sense of power. You've been delayed, doubted yourself, and carried the weight of past disappointment. But the Emperor says you're stepping into control. The reversed Fool and Page of Pentacles show the fear, but the Five of Cups reversed reminds you that healing is already happening. The Oracle card, Material and Spiritual Prosperity, says this next phase brings balance, opportunity, and a deeper sense of alignment. You're walking into a chapter that honors your growth and challenges you to believe in your ability to lead. The only thing you need to do now is stop waiting. So that's what I'm getting for pile 1. If this resonated for you, please let me know in the comments, and of course, like and subscribe. See you next time. Hello pile 2, welcome to your reading. Let's jump right into it. This card signals a significant shift in your material world. Whether it's about income, job, security, moving, or a shift in your lifestyle, you're being guided into a new chapter that directly impacts how you handle resources and responsibility. It may feel unsettling at first, but the bigger picture here is about growth and realignment. You could be walking through a door that challenges your current financial patterns. Maybe you're being pushed to leave a stable situation in favor of something riskier, but more aligned. Or maybe you're being asked to start seeing money as a tool for freedom, not survival. Either way, your mindset around material stability is evolving. This card often shows up when you're being asked to level up, not just by earning more, but by managing better. Think long-term planning, smarter decisions, and stepping into a more empowered role with how you handle your finances. That might involve cutting out something that drains you or taking a hard look at what's actually supporting your future. There may be some unexpected challenges tied to this shift. It could be a job offer, a loss, or even a surprise opportunity could be part of what pushes you into the next step. It might feel like the rug is being pulled out at first, but it's actually clearing space for something more aligned. The key is, don't panic. This is about shifting, not collapsing. You're not being set back, you're being set up. This card tells us that the door you're about to walk through isn't just material, it's deeply tied to values, purpose, and choice. The Lover's upright in this context says you're making a decision that's going to impact your path in a big way. And this isn't about choosing between good and bad, it's about choosing what feels aligned. You could be at a fork in the road. Maybe you're being torn between staying with what's familiar or chasing something that feels like a better fit emotionally and spiritually. The Lovers urges you to make the choice that honors your true self, even if it's not the easiest or most logical one. This card also brings up the theme of support. Someone in your life, either romantic, family, or professional, could play a key role in this next chapter. Whether they help open the door or walk through it with you, connection is part of the opportunity. Don't be afraid to lean on someone who gets it. At its core, this card says, if it feels right deep down, even if it doesn't look perfect on paper, it probably is. The more aligned your choices are, the less resistance you'll face as you move forward. You're not just choosing a job or a path, you're choosing the life that comes with it. This card shows that part of what's holding you back isn't external, it's internal. Judgment reversed points to hesitation, self-doubt, or fear of making the wrong move. You might feel like you're being called into something bigger, but you're questioning whether you're ready or worthy of the opportunity. There's also a chance that past failures or regrets are clouding your vision. Maybe you've tried to pivot before and it didn't go how you hoped. Now you're asking yourself, what if I mess it up again? That voice in your head is fear, and it's louder than it should be right now. You could also be ignoring signs. Judgment reversed often means the universe is nudging you. It could be sending you signals, repeating messages, even putting people in your path, but you're not answering. Not because you don't care, but because you're overwhelmed or too deep in your own head. The key here is reflection without paralysis. You do need to think carefully, but not to the point of freezing. This door isn't opening to test you. It's opening because you've outgrown where you've been. You are ready, you just don't feel like it yet. Trust that the opportunity showing up now is tied to what you've already worked through. You're more prepared than you give yourself credit for. This card brings a strong shift in energy. The Queen of Swords is clear, confident, and unapologetic. You're walking into a season where emotional clarity and mental sharpness are your biggest assets. You've been through enough to know what you're not going to tolerate, and that's exactly the attitude you need right now. Whether you're leaving a draining job, cutting ties with old narratives, or just finally speaking up for what you want, this card shows that you're not here to play small anymore. You've learned how to separate emotion from fact, and you're ready to make decisions that serve your future, not just your comfort zone. This is also a card of truth. If you've been holding back, trying not to rock the boat, or staying quiet to keep others comfortable, that ends now. The door ahead of you requires you to speak clearly, set boundaries, and lead with honesty. You've earned the right to call the shots, so stop shrinking. It's possible someone around you will challenge your decision. The Queen doesn't care. She knows her worth, and she makes moves from logic and wisdom, not fear. Let that energy guide you now. This is your moment to take control of your narrative, fully and fearlessly. This card brings up a sense of emotional depletion. The Ace of Cups reversed suggests that something about your current path has been draining your spirit, even if it's been paying the bills. You may have been sacrificing joy or connection in exchange for stability, and now that's catching up with you. This could also reflect burnout. If your current situation has been emotionally exhausting, or if you've been pushing through without taking time to recharge, this card confirms it's not sustainable. You're being asked to prioritize not just your goals, but your heart. The door ahead of you might not feel perfect right away, but it has the potential to refill that cup. You're being nudged towards a path that restores you, not one that just demands more from you. The first sign will be that it feels peaceful, even if it's unfamiliar. It's okay to say no to things that don't light you up, even if they look good on the outside. You've spent enough time proving yourself. Now it's about choosing something that actually gives back to you. This card says, let yourself want more, emotionally, creatively, and spiritually. That's where the real shift happens. This card brings in emotional recovery. The Five of Cups reversed is a strong sign that you're coming out of a period of disappointment, regret, or loss. Maybe you've been stuck in the past, grieving a job that didn't work out, a missed opportunity, or simply time that feels like it was wasted. But this card says the perspective shift is happening now. You're starting to see that not everything was lost. You're learning from it, and more importantly, you're using that experience to make smarter, more empowered decisions this time around. There's also a sense here of releasing guilt. Maybe you've been carrying around feelings like, I should have done more, or I should have known better. That is over. You're realizing now that you did what you could with what you had, and that is enough. This is your moment to turn around and see the doors still standing behind you. Not every opportunity is gone, not every dream is dead. You're not starting from zero, you're starting from wisdom. And that wisdom is exactly what will help you walk through the right door next. So pile 2, the door you're about to walk through is one that challenges your old patterns and rewards your emotional growth. The Lovers and Queen of Swords say you're ready to make the choices that actually align with your values, not just your fears. Judgment reversed and Ace of Cups reversed show where hesitation and emotional burnout have held you back. But the Five of Cups reversed confirms you're moving on and you're moving up. The Financial and Material Changes Oracle card lets you know that yes, things are shifting, but the outcome depends on whether you choose from clarity or from comfort. This is your chance to rewrite the way you live, earn, and feel. The door is already open, you just have to trust yourself enough to walk through it. So that's what I'm getting for pile 2. If this resonated for you, please let me know in the comments, and of course, like and subscribe. See you next time. Hello pile 3, welcome to your reading. Let's jump right into it. This card is the emotional heart of your reading. Love Begins is not just about romance, it's about renewal, openness, and starting fresh in a way that actually nourishes you. The door you're about to walk through opens to emotional fulfillment, and not in a fantasy-driven way. This is real, grounded emotional healing and connection, both with yourself and potentially with others. This card suggests you're entering a phase when you can finally stop guarding your heart and start building something emotionally real. If you've been in survival mode, pushing feelings aside just to get through the day, this next chapter is going to ask you to soften, just enough to receive what's coming. It could also mean that a new creative project, relationship, or passion is beginning to bloom. You might not fully see it yet, but the energy around you is shifting in a more emotionally balanced and spiritually aligned direction. This door leads to something that feels right, not just because it's perfect, but because it gives back to you. Most importantly, this is about you choosing to lead with emotional authenticity. You don't have to chase, you don't have to perform, you just have to stay open. This next opportunity, whether career, love, or purpose, is built on truth and not pressure. And it starts with you giving yourself permission to feel again. This card brings deep hope, healing, and clarity. The Star says you've come through something challenging. This could be emotionally, spiritually, or even physically, and now you're moving into a space of alignment and inspiration. The door ahead of you doesn't just lead to progress, it leads to peace. If you've been questioning your path, this card is confirmation that you are, in fact, on the right track. The details might still be forming, and the timing might not feel perfect, but the vision is clear. You're being realigned with your purpose, and that's what's going to start showing up in the form of opportunities, support, and synchronicity. The Star is also about visibility. For some of you, this door might involve stepping into a more public role, sharing your work, your voice, or even your ideas. It could also mean you're being noticed by someone who genuinely sees your worth, not just your output. Don't shy away from that attention. You have earned it. Emotionally, this card says you're ready to believe again, in yourself, in your dreams, and in the idea that good things can still happen. If you've been closed off or protecting yourself from disappointment, this is your sign that it's safe to hope again. The door is bringing back your light, and it's only getting brighter from here. This card brings in a warning. Don't rush. The Knight of Swords reversed shows scattered energy, impulsive decisions, or communication that doesn't land the way it should. You might be tempted to speed things up, push forward, or force clarity in a situation that still needs time. This could also reflect someone around you, maybe a person who moves fast, talks fast, or makes promises that they don't follow through on. Whether this is in work or relationships, this card reminds you to stay grounded. Not everything that sounds urgent is actually important. There's also a message here about frustration. You may be feeling impatient to get on with it, to finally have answers, progress, or closure, but rushing through the emotional or spiritual parts of this process will only create confusion. Slow down, think clearly, and let the door open fully before you walk through it. If you've been scattered in your goals, jumping from one idea to another, this card asks you to pause and refocus. You don't need 100 action steps, you just need one clear direction, and you'll find that when you give yourself space to actually listen. This is not a time to force anything, it's a time to move with clarity and calm, even if it feels slower than you'd like. This card shows you being emotionally overwhelmed or disconnection from your own intuition. The Queen of Cups reversed often points to someone who's giving too much to others while neglecting their own emotional needs. You might be feeling drained, overly sensitive, or unsure of how to express what you're really feeling. It's also a sign that emotional healing is part of the door you're walking through. You may have been holding space for everyone else while quietly shutting down your own emotions. That is shifting now. You're being called to come back to you, to refill your own cup before offering anything to others. This reversal can also speak to self-doubt. You may be questioning whether you're emotionally strong enough to handle this new chapter. Let me say this clearly. You are. But you need to start trusting your feelings as valid, not something to push aside or second guess. There's also a message here to protect your energy. If you've been around people who take more than they give, this door leads away from that dynamic. You're not meant to keep holding everything else together while falling apart in private. This next chapter is about emotional honesty, emotional self-care, and learning that boundaries aren't selfish, they're necessary. Here we see another form of blocked energy, this time tied to confidence and visibility. The Queen of Wands reversed shows someone who's powerful, passionate, and magnetic, but may not feel fully that way right now. You might be shrinking your presence, holding back your voice, or doubting your right to take up space. This card says that this ends now. You've been playing small, maybe to avoid judgment, maybe because you were burned before, but the door ahead requires you to reclaim your fire. People want to hear what you have to say. They want to see your real self, not the version that plays safe to stay likable. There may also be jealousy or competitiveness around you, especially if you've started to glow a little brighter recently. Let it roll off of you. Their discomfort isn't your responsibility. You're stepping into a phase where you can't afford to dim just because someone else isn't ready to shine. The Queen of Wands in reverse also calls you to reconnect with what excites you. Passion, creativity, self-expression, these aren't luxuries, they're fuel, and you're going to need that energy to walk confidently into what's next. The door ahead, it's wide open, but you need to believe you belong on the other side. This card brings structure, wisdom, and spiritual guidance. The Hierophant tells us that the door ahead of you is not chaotic or random, it's built on something real. You're moving into a space where your values, your beliefs, and your long-term vision are actually supported. This could involve mentorship, formal education, joining a group or organization, or stepping into a teaching or leadership role yourself. You may also find yourself gravitating towards tradition, not because it's rigid, but because it gives you something stable to grow from. There's also a message here about commitment. You're not walking into something casual. Whether it's a new job, a relationship, or a spiritual path, this next step is about dedication and depth. You're not just dabbling anymore, you're building something with long-term potential. The Hierophant reminds you to honor your journey. Everything you've been through, the healing, the struggle, and the growth, it wasn't random. It was preparation. You're stepping into a chapter that asks for your full presence, but also rewards it. You're walking into wisdom. Make sure you bring everything you've learned with you. So pile 3, the door you're about to walk through is emotional, spiritual, and empowering. The Star and the Hierophant say you're stepping into something deeply aligned with who you truly are, but the reversed Queens and Knight of Swords show the internal resistance, fear, self-doubt, and the urge to rush or shrink. The Love Begins Oracle card reminds you that what's coming is meant to nourish you. This isn't just a new opportunity, it's a new chapter of wholeness, one where you're seen, supported, and allowed to shine fully. This door doesn't just offer progress, it offers peace, and you are ready for it. So that's what I'm getting for pile 3. If this resonated for you, please let me know in the comments, and of course, like and subscribe. See you next time.